Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm the community manager for CharmVerse. CharmVerse is a Web3 operations platform handling docs, tasks, bounties, and proposals. It's a place for team contributors to coordinate day-to-day work, sign in with crypto wallets, and unlock workspaces with tokens and NFTs. It brings together onboarding, bounty management, proposals, project trackers, and data repositories all in one place. If you haven't checked them out, please do so after this space. I do encourage our listeners and guests to share this space, get it out there to more people. And I'm really excited to be chatting with Ali and Fatima of Metaschool today. And we're going to be chatting about EdTech, as well as their experience as building a Web3 startup. So, hi, you two. Welcome. I'm really excited to be chatting with you.
Hi,
Hi.
Alex. Thanks for having us on board.
And
Hi, Alex. Thank you
of
so much for
course, thanks
having
for
us.
taking the time. And first and foremost, I want to make sure I said both of your names correctly.
You
Okay,
Yes.
got mine
good.
right.
That's my biggest concern. I don't want to offend anyone or trip over that. So, all right, fantastic. So, thanks so much again. Why don't we jump right in and start by familiarizing the audience with the Metaschool journey? Fatima, why don't you walk us through your professional journey and then the creation of Metaschool?
Awesome. Sure. I think before that, would just want to quickly tell everyone that Metaschool is an edtech platform that makes it very easy for developers who are in the Web2 ecosystem. They are experienced, but now they believe in the Web3 ecosystem as well, and they want to move and they want to find jobs and full-time gigs and opportunities in the ecosystem. And we launched the platform almost 6 months ago, at the start of this year. And so far as we speak, we have more than 80,000 developers who have signed up on our platform. Majorly coming, these developers are coming from India, US, Africa, and then deeper pockets in Southeast Asian market as well. Um, so it has been an exciting ride so far, and amazing experience working with developers from these diverse backgrounds as well. And similarly, my background is in software engineering as well. I was doing a lot of freelancing as a software engineer, and I was working with clients who are based in US and UK market. And I remember I was introduced to the world of cryptocurrency back in 2014, when everyone was like raving about, like, Bitcoin is going to be the future, and it's a major store of value, and you can invest in that as well. And I was interestingly based in Pakistan at that point in time, and no platform like Binance or Coinbase existed at that point in time. So I remember there was this website called local bitcoins, where, like, it was a peer-to-peer network, and you'll have to go out, meet someone in person, and then give them the cash, and they are going to transfer some bitcoins to you. And then, like, based in Pakistan, I did not have that, like, independence to, like, go out and meet a stranger. But interesting thing happened. At that point in time, I was running a media company for startups in the Pakistani market, and scaled that company to 5 million page views per month as well. So we started doing a lot of, like, referral system for, like, a lot of, like, these crypto websites. So the first, like, Bitcoin or Satoshi I was able to acquire was through actually local bitcoins. They had this referral system. And like, we started writing about local bitcoins on our platform, and then people started using that, and as a result of them using that, we were making some Satoshis, not even, like, bitcoins, but Satoshis on our platform. So that was like my initial introduction to what we would call right now the Web3 ecosystem. And then, like, back in 2017, 18, again got interested in the space, because, like, a lot of interest in the ecosystem because of the investment opportunities, but also, like, how the market was very interesting, innovation, and how, like, folks are using NFTs, and then we are able to see utilities behind the token economy as well. um, Played around in the space, and then again, like, we felt that if you want to see where the future of an ecosystem is going to be, you need to closely look at what the nerds are doing. So I think in the last 18 months, I felt like a lot of like nerds are really serious about this Web3 ecosystem, and they're spending a lot of time thinking about the future of like, decentralization, and how like, the control needs to be given back to the individuals as well. And this is something I personally felt as well, like, decentralization is something which is very close to my heart. And so again, like, we felt like, developers who are in the web 2 ecosystem, they need a platform where they can go, they can learn about web 3 ecosystem smart contracts, and then they can build and ship something of their own, and as a result they can find opportunities in the space as well. So yeah, that's how, like, got interested into the space and launched this platform as well.
That's fascinating. Quite the journey. Um, and Ali, you've worked in big tech companies. Can you tell us about that and why you decided to go the startup route and why Metaschool?
Sure, sure. Sounds good. Thank you first off for having me and hosting this. You're absolutely right. So I've had a very interesting experience with big tech. I usually join startups when they're in their early or middle tier phase, and then eventually see them as big tech. So have had a fair share of experience with startups. But to be fairly honest, I think I got into Web3 because I wanted to make a bit of money and began mining for Ethereum. And I think when I began to mine Ethereum, I eventually figured out that ever since I began mining, it went through that initial phase of a good sort of boost in terms of price, and then it had a massive drop. So at that point in time, what basically happened was I was getting into it because I had no understanding of it. I just saw a couple of people on YouTube posting videos in terms of mining Ethereum and talking about Web3. But eventually, I realized if you really want to understand or make a contribution in Web3, then it has to be beyond cryptocurrency. But besides that, I think one thing people don't understand, particularly even in tech industries as well, is Web3 is so substantially larger than just cryptocurrency. And that idea just fascinated me. The idea of how smart contracts can take over the world and will take over the world is something that I really wanted to get behind. So the mission of thinking about Metaschool and how all of the Web3 educators and the nerds, as Fatma just mentioned, were coming together in one place just made that much sense to be part of this. So that's pretty much where the transition happened. I have had experiences in e-commerce and ride hailing, but now coming into EdTech, it's surely been an experience and a learning effort, and I'm super excited to meet with different Web3 enthusiasts every day who tell me new stories and new ideas of how they're changing the world, and it's been a fascinating experience.
It really is. It's fascinating talking to all sorts of people, all walks of life. It just feels like a completely different industry than anything I've been a part of. So how about the experience of starting a Web3 startup? Like, what are the differences you found from Web2 moving to Web3 in terms of structure, the launch, or anything like that? Fatima, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. I think the experience and the journey has been a roller coaster ride, because, like, we launched the platform earlier this year, and then we entered the crypto winter, the Terra Luna meltdown happened, and then a lot of like things crumbled down as well. But I think so far it has been a very fascinating journey for us, and a great learning experience as well. As compared to, if I compare that to my previous media company, I would say, like, with Metaschool, the approach was like, let's go ahead with a minimum viable product. Let's do some MVP. And rather than building a product that at the first place, we started with the Discord community, interestingly. And, like, started with Discord, reached out to a few developers in Telegram groups, and then just like, taking their feedback on how they are thinking about their Web3 journey, and what is the pain point they're facing at the moment, and how can we ensure that, we are solving their problem, and our product is going to be a killer for them. So we started with, I remember in the early days, yeah, we had a Discord server, and then we had a Google form where we were asking people to register if they want to learn something new. And then, like, organically it happened, the Discord group grew at a pace, and then we had some early signups as well, and then we launched a minimal viable product, and using the Web 2 infrastructure. But interestingly, a few exciting things we did in the product was that we are storing the data of the developers when they join our platform and take courses on chain. And at the moment, we are using Polygon. Again, like, in the last like 18 months, we have seen that a lot of people are losing a lot of money because of the gas prices. So again, Polygon was a blockchain at the moment we felt like, it's going to be affordable. And then when developers are completing their courses, they can store the data on chain, they can ship the contract, ship their dapps in the on chain as well. And then again, we just wanted to keep it borrowing from the Web3 ecosystem as well, keep it very transparent. So anytime a developer is minting something and shipping a dApp through our platform, they get NFTs on course completion as well. And these, again, NFTs, since they live on the blockchain, a very transparent way to go back and see what kind of progress a developer has been able to make. And this is something that organically happened on our platform as well.
I actually went on and started a course. Yes, finished a course yesterday. I did the NFT, everything you need to know about NFTs, and because
Perfect.
yeah, I mean, I wanted to experience it and go through it and see what you're doing, and it was fantastic. I really liked it. I still need to claim my NFT, but that's on my list to do today. So, um, great platform though. I really enjoyed the interaction and how it's all laid out. So, um, and then I think people are curious about the day to day, what people do, day to day, what that looks like. Ali, how did the culture change from Web 2 to Web 3 for you as far as and big tech to startup?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very interesting experience. We have a couple of our teammates here as well, Simran and Sagar. Big shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing in really making sure Metaschool really takes off. I think from a culture standpoint, we definitely have a very interesting culture. And when you come into Web3, I think the most important thing has to be accountability and transparency. The fact that we definitely make sure that there is firstly a focus on making sure that all of our weirdness and our traits and the fact that we really want to do things a little differently but together, that's primarily the focus that at least I've seen moving away from again a very fixture focused Web 2 to a more decentralized Web 3. But then also, I think kudos to Fatima for setting up Metaschool in a way where, again, everybody is held accountable for the work that we're doing. And there isn't much centralization. The idea is that we all come up with different sort of ideas to make different events happen. And again, Kamal's here, so this event was even happening because Kamal and I just had a random conversation on LinkedIn, and it just came out to be something very interesting. So for sure, I mean, I think you see these things in Web 3. You don't see it as much in Web 2, and I think that's one thing that I've definitely been definitely impressed by. But besides that, I would encourage all the listeners to head over to our website and check our career and culture page as well. And I think all of us have worked very hard in making sure that the sort of culture that we have in Metaschool and also the culture that we are definitely trying to promote within the Web3 space for our learners and for our stakeholders. It's a culture that everybody can be proud of and be represented properly.
Amazing. I love that. Collaboration in Web3 seems to be everything from what I can tell. Everyone's really excited to work with one another and extend, just network with one another.
For
I'm gonna
sure,
do
community is everything.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to do a quick POAP shout out. We created a CharmVerse and Metaschool POAP to hand out to our listeners today. So everyone listening, have your POAP mobile app. If you go in there, you hit mint and enter the secret rocket ship, all lowercase, all one word. You can mint your Metaschool POAP. And I'll give that a shout out a little later on, but please go do that. So I would love to hear more about the mission of Metaschool. There's a lot of builders in Web3 that aim to decentralize education and make it accessible to more people. And then there are others that are developing models like learn to earn. What's the mission of Metaschool?
Yeah, and Alex, I feel we are borrowing a lot of things from the Web3 ecosystem. One of the ethos of the Web3 ecosystem is that like you are learning in public, you are building in public, and then you are building with public as well. So a lot of content we are producing is actually available and very is also free and open source for the developer community as well. And then, like quickly coming on to the mission, right now. Um, um, there are more than 30 million developers which exist in the world, and only 24,000 developers are actively contributing in the Web3 ecosystem. So there is a huge opportunity for a platform like educational platform which can help these developers enter the Web3 ecosystem as well. So at its core, our mission is to enable the next 10 million developers enter the Web3 ecosystem. And for that, we are creating a very efficient operating system. And then we have learned a lot of things by working very closely with developers. And again, majorly our team is of like, builder mindset of developers as well. A few things that we learned was that developers learn quickly when they build something and they ship something, rather than just reading theory or reading a lot of white papers. So again, we are very close to our developer ecosystem, and then we are constantly learning from these developers. And again, like the mission is to enable the next 10 million developers enter the Web3 ecosystem by taking the courses and the learning, like efficient operating system we are creating onto the platform.
So
May I ask a
developers,
question?
oh, go ahead.
I have a question, ma'am. May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Mohammad Rizwan, and I'm from Pakistan. I'm a teacher here and an Android developer. Recently, I was assigned. First of all, I don't mean to offend anyone, but I'm just entering into this Web3 world, so I have a very basic question. Recently, I was assigned with a couple of projects, final year projects. The students wanted to actually work with the NFTs, the blockchain, and the metaverse kind of things. And so I got curious and I started exploring these things, the blockchain and how it works, the smart contracts and all that stuff. And now the idea is we want to use NFTs as a replacement of the identity cards, for example. So can anyone guide me on this, or if it's feasible to ask this question?
I think Rizwan, I'll make a quick comment on that. You can use Solidity programming language, and definitely if you want to go ahead and use digital cards for identity management, you can definitely go ahead and do that. But again, you will need to understand that if you are giving NFTs to folks, either you will have to pay the gas fees, or the students who are going to be managing these national the ID cards, they'll have to manage that. So I think just like make sure that the logistics are right, you are picking the right blockchain, you are picking the right ecosystem if you want to go ahead with that. And then if you have any further questions, I'd recommend that we take this conversation offline, and then you can just just DM me and I'll answer.
Thanks for fielding that question. So is your target audience developers? I mean, I went on there, I'm not a developer, and I was able to take that NFT course, but would you say mostly this is made for developers based on that's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, that's correct, Alex. Right now, the target audience, we are keeping it very like strictly focused on the developer ecosystem and the community, because again, we feel like it's a major pain point right now in the market. Because if we want the Web3 ecosystem to flourish and go to the next level, we need to have more builders in the ecosystem. Again, like going back to my initial point, like 30 million developers in the world, but only 24,000 developers are actively contributing in the ecosystem. And these 24,000 developers are actually responsible for all the innovation we have seen in the ecosystem, the Solana blockchain or the Polygon blockchain, Binance or Ethereum ecosystem. So think like if we can scale this to a million developers actively contributing in the system, huge opportunity for people to come in, innovate, try to build something. I know people will some people will fail as well, but again, once you learn from that failure as well, right? And then you innovate. So again, I feel like huge opportunity in the developer space. And then once we have enough developers in the ecosystem, I feel more opportunities for like community managers or marketing folks, branding folks, and then the like ecosystem can open up for other like segments as well. But again, as a platform right now, we want to focus on the developer user base.
Incredible how much opportunity there still is out there, being such a new industry. It's really exciting. So why Web3? Why not just do a Web2 EdTech startup that teaches Web3? What opportunities presented themselves to be able that made you want to go definitely Web3 and blockchain?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like if you ask me about like the infrastructure of the platform, I'd say like it's Web 2.5, because like some of the things onto the platform we have borrowed from the Web 2 ecosystem, but some of the things on the platform we have borrowed from the Web 3 ecosystem as well. Like it makes sense, like if we are teaching developers about the Web 3 ecosystem as a platform, we should embrace Web 3 as well. And not only infrastructure wise, I'd say at its core, like Metaschool platform is embracing a lot of things, again, like from the Web3 ecosystem. We are building in public, we are building with public, we are very transparent about the kind of content we are producing, and then we are managing the data of the developers. We are doing the data farming on blockchain as well, and then like the whole certification system is being built on top of a blockchain as well. So again, like if we are teaching someone, if we are preaching something, I think as a platform we should like show that through our actions as well. And that's why it naturally came to us, like if we are teaching about Web3, let's take the best opportunities from the Web3 ecosystem and embrace that as a platform as well. Yeah, so that's how it's happening so far for us.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. You're teaching Web3, you might as well exist in there as well. So CharmVerse is a Web3 operations platform, and for anyone that joined late, you're able to coordinate votes, bounties, token gates, and more on our platform. So do you see your students using CharmVerse as a place where they could track their courses in the future, or what would a product collaboration with us look like in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, and the opportunity is so huge and massive, because we are working with all these blockchain companies, and sometimes they want to create bounty programs, or if you want to create gated content, like right now most of the content is free. As a developer, you sign up onto the platform, and then you get access to all of the content as well. But if we can gate that content, and like if you own a certain token, and then you can get access to that content, or like we can create some bounty programs on our platform as well. So I feel a lot of like operational opportunities which Charmverse is providing can like organically be associated with a lot of work we have been doing. So right now we are in the process of forming a DAO for Metaschool community as well, and this is where I feel we can borrow a lot of and take a lot of operational help from Charmverse as well. So definitely very open, and definitely like again in the wider ecosystem of Web3, we are seeing a lot of organizations coming together quickly as well. And then again, like it's a community thing, the vibe is so amazing of the community, everyone is trying to help each other. And then I feel like Charmverse really fits into the picture, where like we can quickly use your platform rather than building something from scratch and reinventing the wheel. We can just like partner with you, and then we can quickly scale from like the 80,000 developers we have, and the kind of 20,000 dapps these developers have created, to at least 10x. And this is where I feel like if you want to go far as a startup, as an organization, you cannot go far alone. So you need to bring people together, and you go far as a team. So I think collaboration is one of the core values of Metaschool platform, and would love to have a collaboration with Charmverse, in which like we can support Charmverse in any way that's possible, and then we can like utilize a lot of features which are available on your platform as well.
A new upgrade on our profile that kind of breaks down everyone's NFTs or DAOs they've been a part of and stuff like that. So it sounds like it fits right in with what you're talking about as well. You did mention, and like I said, I did a course yesterday and it was free. So how do you plan to make money in the future? And how will that develop? Will you have a coin? I know I can get an NFT, but yeah, how do you plan to make money?
Yeah, so I would say, Alex, a lot of that plan is on paper at the moment, and we are just like figuring out what is going to be the right step for us. But one thing for sure, we just want to ensure that developers have access to right kind of education, and then we make it very easy for these developers to enter the Web3 ecosystem. And since again, like Web3 ecosystem is all about open source content, we for even like short term, we are not thinking that with the kind of content we are producing we want to charge the developers. But at some point in future, we foresee that we will be launching cohort based courses, which will come with the promise that we can get these developers placed with Web3 organizations we are currently partnering with. Like, I feel it's going to be super cool. Like, if a developer is taking a course on our platform and then they join CharmVerse full time and they're able to help the organization as well. So that's how, like, we are thinking about the future, and we want to close the full, like, educational loop on our platform for these developers by number one, first getting these developers educated, and then helping these developers get either full time jobs or, like, part time gigs or opportunities as well. So this is, again, this is somewhere we feel like, we can monetize the content we are producing. But again, like, the promise needs to be very very intentional to the developers as well. So I think the cohort based courses that we want to go ahead with, they are in the horizon, and they'll be coming in the next, I would say, 8 to 9 months onto the platform. So very excited for that.
Yeah, I think we're all figuring it out. Right now, Charmverse is also free to use, as we build the platform and fix the bugs and add all sorts of new stuff. So we're in the same boat. Um, what's your favorite thing about Metaschool, and what's something you might change moving forward? Who wants to take it?
Ali, do you want to take that? I can go on and on and on.
No, sure. I mean, I think the thing that I love about Metaschool, and I think it's pretty much based on the idea of, again, talking to all these developers who are trying to enter Web3. I think the thing that I love about Metaschool is its very simple understanding of how people learn. There have been countless times and countless calls that I've been part of where people have said, look, we wanted to learn Web3, and the first thing we did was we opened up a white paper. And we began to read the first paragraph, and we either A, fell asleep, or B, couldn't understand the second paragraph. And I think that's the fundamental main reason why Metaschool does so well. That's the reason why we have a growing community of more than 80,000 developers right now, is because the courses we have, they're made so that people actually understand not just how to be a part of Web3, but contribute to Web3. And our principle has always been the same. I mean, if you want to learn something, build it, build on it, and then try to showcase what you've built. And I think that's the most favorite thing for me, at least, for Metaschool.
That is so true, what you said about the white paper, that it can be boring or just too confusing that you might shut down. So to just really make it easy to have access to that education and make it easy for the layman to understand. So I applaud you. You absolutely did that based on the course I took. Fatima, do you want to add anything?
I think the stories we have been able to listen of developers joining our platform, and then even if right now we don't have a job board in place, but these developers being able to find their friends through the communities, Discord community at Meta School, or they completed a project and they were able to find a job. That's like something which is very life changing. Some of the developers are based in Africa. They took courses on our platform, and then they were able to find jobs with the companies based in India or US market. So that's like we can see right in front of us the impact of the kind of content we are producing. So I feel content is again a huge USP, but also like the kind of impact it has been able to create is very heartwarming for us, and we continue to hear these stories. Maybe Ali, would you would want to share the Malta GDG partnership that we did and their story as well? I think that was very heartwarming, and just like you think about like these things that happen, the kind of impact you are able to create, and then it warms your heart that like this is the real mission that we want to go ahead, and we are able to see the impact of that as well.
For sure. I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're in the process of coming up with a lot of different community partnerships, but one partnership that I'm very, very happy with is the partnership with the GDG community in Malta. And again, for those of you who don't know, a lot of the people in Malta right now are under military regime, so not a lot of educational or even employment opportunities out there. But these developers just decided to, work virtually and try to find those international sort of gigs. But of course, a lot of these people did not know how to enter Web3 or any particular easy way to learn. And somehow, some way, whether that be one of our sort of word of mouth developers or whether that be some sort of ad, they somehow found through Google search Metaschool. It was just one of them, but it eventually turned out to be a community of around 100 different developers who began to not just learn Web3, but now they're actively looking for short-term part-time gigs in Web3 by learning Metaschool courses. And I personally feel that was one of our biggest achievements very, very early on. I reached out to them for a sort of developer partnership, and I just wanted to try to work with them for a GDG community. But they reached out when we were on the call. They said, "Look, I mean, you basically made it possible for us to get into something where we couldn't have otherwise. Because the other alternative was, again, either to go through that white paper or to pay for a particular exclusive boot camp. And again, that in itself is so Web 2. So again, I mean, it's these stories absolutely which really make us continue to work on this, make sure that we try to improve the courses we have, and make sure that we continue to grow our community. Particularly in the developing world, where we have so many unfound talent. But at the same time, while we have these people being given these sort of resources, we definitely expect the developers who already exist in more established countries to be part of the community as well. So that's why we have such a global outlook as opposed to so many other sort of Web3 companies that we've seen or EdTech companies that we've seen. We want to take all these unfound talent and also existing talent together and make sure that everybody comes into the Web3 ecosystem, whether you're a beginner, whether you're an intermediate learner, or whether you're an advanced learner. The idea is to come to Metaschool, either learn from scratch or upskill and create more stories for yourselves. That's the idea.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that story. It's heartwarming, and it just you're creating opportunities for people that might not have them otherwise. So I applaud both of you as well as Metaschool. I do have someone requesting to ask a question. I know we're running short on time. Are you willing to take a question?
Sure, would love that.
All right, let me give them access to speak. Will, I just connected you. Are you there? Go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, I'm here. Sorry, I in the transition of coming up on stage, I didn't hear that you had called on me. My apologies. So, yeah, I mean, as being a Web3 educator, that's how I identify myself in this space and a potential career path in Web3. I'm learning a lot about all these different curriculums that are being developed at this point. So, and I've been listening in to this discussion on Metaschool. So I'm just curious, what differentiates you from somebody like a Learn Web3 DAO? And I don't know if you're familiar with that program or not.
Yeah, that's a great question, Will. And I was quickly going through your profile as well. Would love to have a conversation with you later. Just quickly, most of the projects we are producing and the kind of curriculum we are producing on Metaschool platform is very project focused. So when you join our platform, we don't talk about a lot of technical details. Let's suppose ERC 721, the token standard for NFTs, or the kind of libraries like Hardhat or OpenZeppelin that you are required to use if you want to ship a smart contract. The focus is, as a developer, what kind of app you are going to ship and build as a result of taking this project. So we think of cool ideas. So for example, rather than teaching developers how they can mint an NFT, we tell them that they are going to mint an Elon Musk NFT by taking a course on our platform. So again, the focus is on helping the developers get excited that they are building something very cool, and then while they are doing it, they learn the technical details of whatever they are building as well. So that's how, like, so far we have seen working out for the developers who are joining our platform. And again, learning from the mindset of the developers. And as a developer myself, I've noticed that theory is not something developers are great at. They learn when they build something and they ship something, and that's how we continue to come up with unique concepts. Interestingly, a few other projects that we are launching in the Solidity ecosystem, and for the Ethereum and L1 L2 blockchain is, in the next 2 weeks we are launching a scholarship DAO as well. So I think that's going to be a great use case of how you can use smart contracts to launch a scholarship network and keep it very transparent. Number one, it's a DAO. Number second, it's on blockchain. Number three, like, all the DAO participants can vote if they want to give a scholarship, and then you can like trace all the data, all the information, like where the money is flowing and how that money is being utilized as well. So again, we are constantly thinking of cool ideas and real world use cases which can help these developers not only understand the technicalities of the ecosystem, but they can think of some utilities of whatever they are building as well. Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking that question. Will seemed to very much like your answers based on those emojis he sent through, and exciting for what you have coming up. So how can we follow the journey of Metaschool? What's the best way to keep up to date on what you're doing over there?
Yeah, I think Discord is going to be the best way to go about it. And again, as I mentioned, we have just closed a fundraising round. We are working on launching our own tokens, and I feel the next 18 months are going to be super important and very exciting for us as an organization. And again, like, we are in a bear market where I feel, rather than focusing on the optics, the focus should be on actually building something and head down focus on innovation as well. So again, if you are very curious about what's going on, just like check out our website metaschool.so, or on the landing page of the website you'll get a link to our Discord community as well. And again, we have been very vulnerable and very transparent with the community on Discord as well. So we do share our progress, we do share our milestones as well. So if you want to participate, we'd love to have you on board.
Are you up for one last question?
Sure.
All right, last one, and then we're going to set you free. Kavak, I'm not sure if I said it right, but feel free to come on stage as a speaker. Hi. Yes, you are. Have at it.
All right. Yeah. So first of all, like, I'm a huge fan. I have to say it. Like, I've been trying to get into Web3, trying to understand where to begin with for a very long time. I think last year when I started, and then I was exploring, and then I got targeted, I think, on Instagram by Metaschool, and the amount of clarity that I was able to build on the topic by following. I think I've completed 6 or 5 out of the 7 or 8 courses, and now I've delved very much deeper into that. So thank you so much. I love the whole learning experience as well. Like, simply, it's not just a video-based format, which is something which I've noticed is sort of like, for me personally, sort of very droning. But I love the whole step-by-step tutorial-based approach as well. So I just want to give a huge shout out for that. One thing that I wanted to understand was that, like, although the platform right now offers courses and like, courses basically which would lead to somebody as a beginner to develop and build an initial knowledge. Are you guys planning to introduce courses which could, guide the new like the new students or the new participants into building production level applications, or what it takes, like getting around the practicality of things, because I've heard there's a lot of stuff in this space. So yeah.
I can quickly take a stab at this, and then Ali would love to hear your thoughts as well. Um, So Kawach, thanks a lot for using the platform. This is so exciting to like see a power user participating in this session and getting your feedback live as well. Yes, so most of the content right now is targeting developers who are in Web2 ecosystem, and then they are just like embracing the Web3 ecosystem and they want to enter the space. But right now, we are also focusing on producing bottom of the funnel courses, or courses which are going to take these Web3 developers to the production level content, and these developers will be able to understand smart contracts from the auditing and security point of view as well. So a lot of that content is coming in, I would say, in the next 2 months on our platform, and we'd love to have you take these courses, and if we can help you find a job and take your feedback on how your progress has been, I think that's going to be amazing.
Thanks so much for taking questions. I like hearing how excited everyone is about this platform. So glad to have those people up. All right, everyone, we're going to wrap it up. I'd love to thank Fatima and Ali again for taking the time to chat with me. It has been a pleasure. It's really exciting what you're building out there. Thank you for doing it. Like I said, I enjoyed taking my course yesterday, so thank you. And please give them a follow on Twitter. They're at Metaschool _ at the bottom. You can also, like they said, follow their Discord and find them at metaschool.so online. Also, please give CharmVerse a follow. We're really excited about what we are building over here and hoping to collaborate more with Metaschool. So yeah, give all the follows, subscriptions, turn on those notifications. And if you think that you can collab with CharmVerse and or Metaschool, please hit us up in the DMs. Don't forget to mint your POAP. Secret is rocket ship, all lowercase, all one word. Ali, Fatima, thank you so much. It really has been a pleasure learning more about Metaschool and what you're doing out there.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us, for asking all these meaningful questions, and very excited for what CharmVerse is doing right now, and what's in store for us for the next few months as well, and very excited for a partnership. As I mentioned, we want to do a DAO, we want to do some gated content as well. So I think would love to have a deeper conversation with you, and huge shout out to CharmVerse for organizing this and bringing lots of folks together as well.
Thank you for that. I also want to give a shout out to Camille, who actually is listening right now and was the one to reach out and put this together. So thank you to him. And yeah, we hope to be in touch with you soon and keep doing what you're doing, educating people about Web3 and building up those developers. So thanks again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. And yeah, keep an eye out for other spaces. Bye, everyone.